I'm Zooming from North Texas, north of Dallas. I teach science online to college students. And then I also serve as Associate Dean of Science at SNHU. We're an online university. We also have a small campus, but most of our learners are online. I serve on the awesome SciStarter team with the amazing Caroline, and write citizen science columns for NSTA and ScienceScope and the Science Teacher, and teach local educator workshops for citizen science in the classroom, schoolyard, and beyond. And as most of you know, I have been absolutely hooked on citizen science for about 2 decades now. I can't get enough of it. I learned about it in my first job after undergrad at a natural science museum. And I've seen its positive impact with so many audiences, such as the public, K-12, even pre-K really, within teacher professional development, as well as college, curricular and co-curricular learning environments that really serve all college learners, non-majors, science majors, pre-service teachers, and more. So the projects that we'll share and discuss today can be adapted to a wide variety of audiences. So we carefully selected the projects to share. And Caroline, do you want to introduce yourself too? She's so amazing. She does so much at SciStarter.
I just want to thank everyone for being here, especially for Jill, for taking the time to teach us today. Just so everyone knows, we are recording and currently streaming to Facebook, so some of what you put in the chat may make its way out there, as we read it and respond to you. But yeah, just a heartfelt thank you to Jill, especially for your time this evening.
Oh, thanks, Caroline. That's awesome. And it's so nice to see her on video. My bandwidth is so bad. If I went on video, it would be a disaster. It would chew up so much bandwidth. So we're so grateful for all that she does. So yeah, next slide. And yeah, keep chatting. We love it. So citizensciencemonth.org, that's kind of that collective site for everything that's going on in April. And so today we'll share projects and ideas to safely engage in real world science this month, with the focus, of course, as everyone knows, on home, online projects. Projects can be done right outside of the home, in the backyard, because the most important thing is that everyone stays home, stays healthy, flattens the curve, maintains that social distancing. So tonight, again, we're going to focus on abiotic, non-living citizen science projects related to air, water, soil, sky. One thing that I thought I would highlight too, with the projects that we'll cover tonight, the abiotic projects, there are so many great ones out there, but also they really help provide equitable experiences for our distributed and remote learners. If we think about the resources that students have, most of our learners can look at the sky, right? Even if they're looking out the window, or they can get outside and tilt their head up and have access to sky. Or they could head out, maybe they're in an apartment, maybe walk downstairs next to the sidewalk, stay close to home, but maybe get that little scoop of soil. Or put something outside their window to collect rainfall or precipitation. So I think that one of the great things about some of the non-living projects is that it really creates that equitable experience. So that's just something that's neat. And with precipitation, even if it doesn't rain, they can still be a zero hero. With one of our projects, Coco Roz, they're like, hey, if it's not raining, 0 is also a quantitative number. So we love having 0 heroes. Oh yes, the supermoon. Yes, Linda. In fact, that in your Google Docs, there are some moon projects for folks, because that's another great one. All of us around the globe can look up and see the moon. Lots of great science with that. Love it. Love it. Okay, next slide. So we have so many resources for Citizen Science Month, all free. 2 that I thought I would just mention, and they're available via the website. I love the certificates, right? Especially some of our younger learners. Well, actually, even my college students. Everybody loves getting an award. So there's great certificates. There's just so much great stuff there, buttons and stickers. So all of it's easy to download or share digitally. So there's lots of stuff there for you to pull from. Next slide. Oh, good. My Mastiff went to sleep. I've bored him. He'll be quiet then. Oh, he had to sigh. He speaks English too. So we, of course, have the calendar, and SciStarter will always have a monthly calendar. But for our Citizen Science Month this April, the reason that we actually picked the projects for this specific week also was this week we had Soil Day. Tomorrow, or Wednesday was Water Quality Day. Tomorrow is Air Quality Day. And the whole month of April is Global Astronomy Month. So there's lots of connections to our non-living components of our wonderful natural world, sky, water, soil, and more. So that's why we wanted to cover this theme this week. But of course, the projects could be done, anytime, but just kind of connecting to our calendar in that way. So next slide. Okay, and I won't read this aloud. We'll let folks take a moment to read, but I'll give you a preface before we jump in. So this is kind of giving us a sports analogy to science. And I didn't put the author, but her name is Alison Gopnik. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. So I'll let you read this and then we'll regroup about this little quote. All right, did everyone get to finish it? I don't want to cut anybody off. But I love this quote. I've always loved it. In fact, I found it years ago, and in one of my pre-service teacher classes, I used to share it on the first day of class, right, Cynthia? I agree. It's such a great, it's that analogy, right? It really makes you think. Exactly, Linda. So I love this. And it actually, when I first saw it and I wanted to share it with my future teachers, it reminded me of a middle school teacher that I have who was so impactful on me. She had a banner that said, "Science is not a spectator sport," right? Like science is about action, it's about doing. And so with this, it just resonates with me because you're right. Like we see kids out there enjoying sports, playing it. It's lifelong. I mean, we can enjoy it for even beyond, 12th grade or college. It's so enjoyable. Oh gosh, there goes my older dog. You could probably hear her breathing. She's having congestive heart failure. If you're concerned, she's okay. She's on meds. But yeah, it really shows that if we taught science the way that we engage students in sports, gosh, what might our outcomes be? So yeah, just something to think about. And if you're looking for the author, it's Alison Gopnik, because you may have an audience that you want to share it with or your team. So next slide. So yeah, let's do science, just like sports. Let's do it. It's all about action. And again, as you guys know, we've got citizen science, science education, and science experts in the room. Citizen science, it's science for everybody. There's no age limit. It's authentic and real world, all areas of science. It covers the natural sciences, life, physical, earth, space, and it addresses the science practices of the next generation science standards, and it gets everybody involved in doing real world scientific research, which I don't know if there's much more. It's such an exciting thing to be a part of. Your students will definitely not be bored. So next slide. So we've got a picture of a young learner, a young scientist, by a stream collecting data. And one of the projects I thought I'd mention that's going to be on your Google Doc is Stream Selfie. And students of all ages love this. The Girl Scouts really love this. That's one of the projects that a lot of the Girl Scouts do, where they're taking pictures of themselves by a stream, and then it actually is creating like a national map of our streams across the country. So Stream Selfie is one of a stream data project. But even, our young learners, our elementary students, they can do science. And again, since our learners are at home, they're distributed, they're in different environments, it can look different for everybody, and that's okay. I think collectively, we can all contribute, something, whatever we can. That's kind of the beauty about citizen science. It kind of, it involves everybody. It's inclusive in every way as opposed to exclusive. And so if a learner doesn't have access to a ditch or a creek or a flooded area, they could help with something else. Or maybe they're on their team and that student is helping pull together their artifact that's a video of all their pictures. So lots of different options, but the projects that we'll cover today, you'll definitely be able to use with a wide variety of participants, audiences, age groups, and more. So next slide. Most of you guys have seen this before, but folks who are new, I just wanted to point out a great place to start, because it can be really overwhelming at first if someone's like, oh, go do citizen science or go to abiotic projects, and you're like, where do I do that? And the great thing is you don't have to come up with your own project. You can if you want to, of course, but there is a project finder on SciStarter.org that kind of helps you see the forest for the trees when you're starting or looking for that project. Next slide. And here's the advanced one on the right. On the home page, of course, you can do a quick find a project. But when I talk to most teachers, they like to go to the project finder, click that, and then it brings up the advanced search. One of the big things that we love about that is you can select for classroom materials. That's really going to kind of hone in on the projects that are built with education in mind, as in addition to the great science, right? So they're all built around science, but I've noticed that the projects are even more impactful when they're built with education in mind. So you can do by your grade band, even specific topics. So I just wanted to point that out for folks who are new to the SciStarter.org webpage, that's a great place to start. And after you're there and you just kind of search a little bit, it won't feel as abstract and overwhelming. It makes it a little more concrete, and you can then explore the projects you're interested in. So next slide. Yeah, and I thought I would highlight SciStarter.org/education. So this is a page that just got a great refresh. I mean, the team contributed so much. It looks amazing. This isn't the slide, the screenshot of it. You can head to it later, but I wanted to highlight that because that page was specifically built this spring to highlight certain citizen science projects across the different grade bands, elementary, middle, high school, college. And create specific pages for those projects that would help an educator at a glance. So if I was looking at that and I saw Globe at Night, which is one of the projects we'll talk about, and that's on that education page, it's really nice because it cues up what materials do I need, what steps do I need to take, and it has a really short, engaging video to kind of excite you and engage you with the project. So that's on your Google Doc, but I wanted to mention that. And then it also, in the literature, such as the book cover we're looking at from the National Academies of Science, that report really showed us that projects that have education in mind, they are excellent citizen science fits to support science learning for all of our learners. They not only have that great science that all the projects have, but they also have something, whether it's resources, supporting materials, that have that education component in mind. And it's definitely okay as well. I know I do it a lot. I'm just engaging my students in the science. I'm not, including lesson plans, but that's a great report that's available for free online that really shows, certain projects, they really do make an impact in the classroom and beyond, in terms of the science learning experience. And so we were sure to carefully cover projects that would fit in that bucket, so you can hit the ground running. So next slide. Oh, and I just wanted to highlight, there's so many exciting projects going on. In fact, I think Caroline, will be at this one. Her address is Zoom these days. But this is the water citizen science event tomorrow, because tomorrow is a water quality day. And so this is an event you may want to, I'm hoping I can come. I'm trying to clear a work meeting during that time, but it's for water quality day. What's in your water? So another great abiotic theme, and it's going to cover Earth Echo Water Challenge, which their website is monitorwater.org, and I've got that on your Google Docs. You don't have to write that down, but that's a fantastic project with great kits. I love to give those kits away at workshops. Let's see what else. Oh, Stream Selfie will be covered, and Crowd the Tap. Crowd the Tap is really neat. It's such a great project for all ages. What the participants do with Crowd the Tap is you look underneath all of your sinks and you look at what your pipes are, and there's actually materials that you can attach to your pipes if you're not sure. Mine were kind of easy because I checked all mine and they were all PVC, so that was easy. There's other things like you can have a penny. Does it stick or does it rub off, to test? And then there's another component to Crowd the Tap where you have to check with your town or municipality and ask what their pipes are, because sometimes the delivery pipes could be different. So it's a really neat project. Oh, and Patricia, thanks. Patricia sent a question in. Great question. She asked, where's the Google Doc I'm referring to? I'm going to pop that link in the chat pod in Zoom right before we depart. So yeah, sorry, because that is kind of confusing. Sorry about that. Great question. It's because we want to give you guys some good freebies. We wish we could be there with you face to face and give you goodies, but we'll do digital ones. So next slide. And oh my gosh, I wanted to mention this as well. The Citizen Science Podcast. There are some, and Caroline's heavily involved with that. She does amazing things with our podcast. There are, and I've got this link on your Google Doc to the podcast. There are citizen science projects, some about snow, community snow, and more available for your students to listen to. So that could be something too. And it's no energy on the educator's part. You can kind of look through them and be like, yeah, you know what? This could be a great one to inspire my students. I know, Chrissy, does anyone not recognize that? I know, I'm aging myself. I definitely recognize that. I know, I love the kids today kids today, when they know that I was born before the internet, they're like, oh my gosh, they can't even imagine. It cracks me up. But I can totally understand. Exactly. Perfect. So yeah, so podcast, that's another resource that's out there that may fit well. And let me extend an invitation to this group. If you would like to be featured, there's some contact info on the podcast website, because it's always neat to see groups doing awesome science. So next slide. So yeah, here are some that we'll talk about this evening, just highlighting a few. Again, with the abiotic projects, there are so many. And in fact, some of the space science, astronomy projects, I mean, they are pushing the bounds of like cutting edge 21st century research in terms of astronomy and space science. So the project finder has thousands of these. So that's kind of stop number one. And then your Google Doc has some more than this. And then of course we wanted to, just cover a couple, but just to share with the group that there are literally thousands of amazing projects that fit in these buckets. So we'll highlight a few superstars tonight, and hopefully get folks excited about checking out, a couple of them, maybe 1, 2, or all 4. Next slide. So here's the first one. NASA, sometimes when you see it, it's NASA GO. It means Globe Observer. So NASA GO Clouds or NASA Globe Observer. And they actually have quite a few, like trees, et cetera. We'll cover trees in a couple of weeks. But basically, that young man, he is holding up all of the supplies that you need to do NASA GO Clouds. So that's really, really great. Next slide. So all you need is a mobile device. And I thought I would ask the group, put your guessing hats on. What do you guys think? We'll crowdsource the answer. What do you guys think? What % of the sky. So when we look at what general percent of the sky do you think that clouds cover at any given time? So you can just kind of pop in like a percentage guess. Sorry, my dog is drinking. I have a zoo. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Amy, wait, Amy got it like spot on. Oh my God, Amy, buy a lotto ticket. That was it. I was like, oh my gosh, that's never happened. Oh my God, see you guys, you guys are amazing. Oh my gosh, see, I need to give you a prize. That's right. So at any time, 70% of Earth is covered in some type of cloud. Exactly, Linda. Yeah, the training can be done very quickly. Exactly. Perfect. So yeah, so clouds they're out there, they're to be observed, they come in different shapes and sizes, classifications, nomenclature. Students love it. For our middle school educators, I mean, clouds are part of most middle school science curriculum, so they love this one. So this project, all you need is a mobile device, because basically you're just with their free app taking a picture and uploading it to their database. But yeah, in a nutshell, this is a citizen science project that combines cloud and sky observations from the ground. So that's what we do as the citizen scientists on the ground. We do ground observations. And then it compares that ground data that we're collecting with NASA satellite data. So they've got satellite instruments in space taking pictures from above. And so the data from the ground and the satellites combine to provide that comprehensive understanding of our Earth system. And of course, clouds play such a role in so many Earth systems, including climate, weather, and so much more. So with this project, you're helping scientists study the sky from above and below. What NASA has found is that there are certain thin clouds the satellites can't even pick up. So we're really providing a full picture of our Earth system for NASA. So, I mean, when students hear that they're collaborating with NASA scientists, I mean, engagement is off the charts. They get so excited. So all you have to do to be involved in this is photograph clouds, to record those, and with their app, you can quickly record observations. It actually cues you. I'm all about like easy stuff, and it will share with NASA. So as long as you've got, smartphone, other mobile device, iPad that has a camera with the free app, you are good to go for this project. If students don't have a mobile device at home, not to worry. There's other ways that they can get involved. There's historical archival data. So there's definitely things for everybody to get involved in. Some of the info that you'll be prompted to submit with your observation is your geographic location of where you took the observation, the time and date, any cloud observations you want to include, like cloud type, height, percent of sky covered in clouds, the color of the sky if there are no clouds visible. And you can also add temperature, relative humidity, and any other ground conditions. Like sometimes I've submitted like standing water or leaves. I've seen people put in snow. So if you want to add extra, you can, but you don't have to. Some of your students who are really like into the tech stuff in STEM, they will get so excited because, in fact, I shared this with some college students, local college students. They weren't my online learners, but they were so excited because this app has artificial intelligence in the background, so AI. It's integrated in the app. So what that actually does, it helps the observer by helping with the identification of cloud types. And so it's reading all of the pixels from your picture, and then it's kind of suggesting an observation. And for folks who do iNaturalist, that's similar as well. Kind of how it can read your pixels and say, I think it's a monarch butterfly. Do you agree? But this has really helped. What I found also are the younger learners, where they're like, I don't even know what cirrus means, but basically the app can help kind of suggest an identification, and it has pictures and resources to help with matching. It's really helped with user engagement, as well as huge jumps in data validation on a really large scale. So when your students participate with NASA Go Clouds, they are literally using like the latest technology to collaborate with NASA scientists to study clouds. the impact of clouds on Earth's climate. And so they're really contributing to help advance understanding of our natural world. I mean, that's pretty cutting edge science. So next slide. So that's a fun one. Oh, here we go. So here is, sorry it's so small. This is a snapshot of our SciStarter.org education page, where NASA Globe Observer is one of our featured projects. So at the top, you get a quick view of what the project is about. You get a nice little video, and then all of the materials you need, the steps, resources. There's some lesson plan links on some. And so these will continue to grow, but lots of at-a-glance help for you to just kind of jump in and get started. So that's nice to have. So next slide. And then you'll see on the Google Doc, the resources with this project are, I don't think I've seen all of them yet. I'll just sum it up like that. It's abundant and diverse. NASA Go is, so NASA Globe Observer, it's with NASA, and it's also with the GLOBE program. So globe.gov was an early global citizen science project that was amazing, and it's still here, and it stands for Global Learning and Observations to Benefit the Environment. So that's what the GLOBE acronym stands for. And so with NASA Go projects, they're partnered with NASA and GLOBE. And so because of that, there are extensive resources. And if you guys are ever interested, NASA Go, they host webinars a lot, and they really would like educators to write blogs and articles. It's such a great group of people. So yeah, there's lots of ways to get involved, and just the resources are amazing and abundant. In fact, on the next, you can go to the next slide, there's some more for our elementary educators. I love these. So these are the Globe Elementary Storybooks. Oh my gosh, look at Caroline. I love it. Woohoo, she's got it. That's perfect. Yeah, so these are the collections of some of their abiotic projects. So they have more, they have one for hummingbirds, for the biotic components of our natural world. So there's lots. So even just literature connections fit so well with citizen science. I know when I do the monarch migration, especially for certain ages, we bring in literature connections, and the kids love it. And so Globe has ready to go resources for you. These are online. You can digitally share them, all free. So just great resources out there. And these are just a few. So next slide. Oh, excellent. Any questions so far? I hope I'm not going too fast. Make sure I covered all for everybody. And yeah, if you have questions anytime, feel free to pop them in. We can, you don't have to feel like you have to hold them till the end. But we'll jump in. This is another project we wanted to share with you guys. This project cracks me up. So does anyone know how to say it? CocoRaHS is how a lot of people pronounce it, but it stands for Community Collaborative Rain, Hail, and Snow Network. And right there, that little container, that's all you need for this project. You just need somewhere to collect precipitation. It could be snow, hail, rain, but most commonly rain. So the funny thing is, whenever I see this word now, and you'll notice it too when you watch their videos, they have a phenomenal team as well. They do great videos, but there's one video where they say CocoRaHS. It's like the Ricola commercials, like Ricola. So every time I see CocoRaHS in my head, I'm like, CocoRaHS. Yeah, it's a catchy name. And what a cool group of people. It's such an awesome community. And they even have state groups for all of them. Texas has a huge one. So yeah, great videos and resources for you guys with this project. So next slide. So I thought, and this is its homepage on SciStarter with links to its, with the CocoRaHS homepage, but I thought I would share the story of this project. I love diving in and learning where some of the projects came from, because most of the projects come from some kind of need, maybe an event, but this one, it's really neat. Back in the summer of 1997, so quite a long time ago now, there was a really big flood, a major devastating flood that impacted Fort Collins, Colorado. And it was really interesting because the local weather station that was reporting, they just measured 2 inches of rain. So you can imagine the meteorologist reporting, 2 inches, not that much, while 5 miles away from the weather station, folks were measuring 15 inches of rainfall. So that's a big difference. And what that showed was there's local variability in rainfall amounts. So it was a devastating flood, and it led to the development of CocoRa's. And Colorado State University's right there, they got involved. They've got support from NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, as well as the NSF, the National Science Foundation. And so this amazing project and network has a really dedicated and growing number of lots of school children and volunteers who measure and report precipitation data in their geographic area. And even it's used in real time, even by insurance adjusters. They will use this data as well as meteorologists and others that you'd expect. But I mean, students, when they participate in CocoRa's, they're helping to accurately report precipitation events, which actually are contributing to a greater understanding of weather events. So it's really important and a really fun group. Well, you can just imagine if they have fun videos like that, CocoRa's, they're a hoot. So all you have to do for this, the project goal is they want everybody to share weather data so meteorologists can access it. And then your student's task, all you have to do is measure rain, hail, and snow, or sleet, any kind of precipitation. So anytime it does that, like rain, hail, snow, your students will just take a measurement of that precipitation, and then you can submit data. And every time you're doing that, you're filling gaps in weather data. And I mean, I even think that helps with safety too, because I mean, you can imagine that devastating flood if they're reporting 2 inches, but people outside of the area, just outside of the area, a couple miles away are getting over a foot. That's a big difference. So I think for safety, it can really help too. So all you need is the CocoRa's rain gauge pictured there with a rainbow. And SciStarter also has a tools page. You can kind of see it at the top. There's next to events and Project Finder tools. And so that has all the info for projects that need specific tools and things. And you can also see on that page, look at all those loves, 7,000 plus. It's a love, everybody loves this project. So next slide. Here is CocoRa's page on the SciStarter education page. So this is kind of in addition to its landing page, it's got an at-a-glance page for educators, a video, materials you need, any resources, and then those quick at-a-glance steps for you to just kind of get started, which is just so helpful. It pulls all that relevant, important information out. And I like that the video's right there because I love sharing videos with students. So next slide. And I'd love to invite you guys. This is coming up in a couple of days. The CocoRa's team has so many fun events. They just finished March Madness, and the next week is Hail Week. So you can get involved if you like. I know in Texas, April is, I've had a couple new roofs because of our hail. So April is so I might be seeing some hail, we'll see. But just if you're interested, they're always hosting events, and the events are a great way to bring in new audiences. So it can be a great way to start, and students love the competitions and events, and it's all in good fun. So next slide. So yeah, we'll come back to the soil. This is a project from the University of Oklahoma in Norman, and it's for anyone to get involved, and it's called What's in Your Backyard? Now, do we have any Oklahoma Sooners online? Sometimes we do, and people get excited about Boomer Sooner. Figured I should check. They're just up the road from some of us, up 35. Oh, there you go, Elizabeth. There's always a Sooner. Excellent. Fantastic. Love it. That's fantastic. Yeah, they have such a nice team that runs this project. And in fact, recently they had shared we got to hook 'em horns. I love it. I love all the college rivalries. Oh, great. The third graders did it. That's awesome. Yeah. So this project, oh my gosh, elementary, high school, college, middle, it's phenomenal. So it's a soil study. So it definitely is the abiotic, but it actually has some connections to living biotic, as you can kind of see with their logo and all of the cool little petri dishes and some things growing on there. So next slide, we'll go to its, yeah. So there you go. We love that little boy with his hands full of soil. Love that. Get your hands dirty for science. So yeah, it's the Citizen Science Soil Collection Program from OU, University of Oklahoma. What they're doing is they're wanting folks to submit their soil samples, and then they are testing it for possible new drugs as medicines. So really exciting. They wanted us to share with you guys the group from this citizen science group. They're hosting Friday Fungi Facebook Live sessions. So awesome engagement opportunities that they're offering for anyone to pop in. And I have to say, like Linda typed in, I love their kits. The soil sampling kits that they'll send for free. So it's it's amazing. They are so user-friendly, easy to use. Students love them. And sometimes when you have a kit and you're doing something for the first time with materials with students, you feel like you have to give a lot of direction. This is so user-friendly and intuitive, which with all ages, I've seen students like literally dig in. But it's fantastic. The instructions and the packet, the resources that they put together. Oh, sure, Brianna, no worries. Definitely. Definitely. But yeah, and also the support from this group, you will get info back on whatever you send in. They give you so much information. I still have stuff on my first sample that I sent in. And I've heard that from everyone. The support and information that folks receive back is just amazing from this project. So just highly recommend this one. So next slide. Oh, the next slide I'm so excited to share with you guys. They have made a whole curriculum available, and it's in the Google Doc. In fact, I can pop it in too. Let me pop it in now because I don't want you to feel like you're like, what is this Google Doc she speaks of? I'll pop it in now.
No, it's foreshadowing.
Yes. There we go. But I linked the PDF to this What's in Your Backyard curriculum guide. It's a whole curriculum, and they wrote it for 4th grade through 12th grade high school. But I was reading through the data sheets, the activities, the lessons, and I can actually see this with earlier elementary. I would use some of it with college. I mean, it's such a great project. So yeah, just to highlight, there's a whole curriculum that they wrote. I really am so grateful to the projects that share like curriculum. It's phenomenal. Yvette asked a private question. What time are the Friday Facebook Lives? I'm not remembering right now, and I wouldn't even trust my mind with like time zone, but I can tell you that their website, their What's in Their Backyard website, it has it. So the project's homepage has the times. Great question, and I apologize, I don't have that. Yeah, it's funny because I live in Central Time and I work in East Coast time, and I have students across, so sometimes I'm like, was it 2? But what time zone? So I don't want to mislead anyone. So next slide. Oh, and then Globe at Night. In fact, I didn't grab the link, but I was reading a Forbes article that I just happened to see on Twitter. I saw it today. I don't know if it was published yesterday, but I saw it today. It was really cool, and it was talking kind of like in these crazy times. It was talking about the night sky and just looking at the night sky. It's such a peaceful effect. Night sky, stargazing, and it's just something that connects us all. I am so sorry. That is Daisy. She's making a lot of breathing sounds. I'm surrounded by 300 pounds of dogs, so I apologize. Let me see if I get another question. Oh, you're welcome. There was a thank you that came through. No worries. Great stuff. Yeah, keep those questions coming. I love it. So yeah, I love that little connection. And I was like, that's so true. It's so comforting sometimes. If you've had a stressful day, just go out, take some deep breaths, look at the night sky. It's really, I don't know, it is very peaceful, and it's usually quiet at that time of the day. So Globe at Night, this project, they've got a lot of fun challenges too, like Coco Roz. Oh wow, Mark, one of yours. Oh, what kind? I love dogs. Look at a pony. But yeah, so they have a lot of challenges, lots of little fun events. So that can be a great kind of way to get involved. When I've got like some Pavlovian response now to this project, because whenever I do it, I make s'mores. So sometimes I see Globe at Night, I'm like, do I have graham crackers, marshmallow? I have a hankering for s'mores suddenly. So you can always, it's fun to pair with, like, take your favorite cold or warm beverage or favorite snack and go to Globe at Night, whether it's just routinely observing or during one of their, monthly challenges, and they're really fun. Because one of the things with this project, it's all about the night sky and light pollution. And right now, the data from the US, 7 out of 10 people in the United States, when they look up at the night sky, they cannot see the Milky Way galaxy from where they live due to light pollution. And I can go out and confirm that. In fact, I sometimes like to go to like Big Bend National Park and some others where you can see the Milky Way, and it's amazing. But the Globe at Night project, it really aims to increase awareness of this growing global issue of light pollution. So it's working to engage citizens in measuring the night sky brightness from their geographic location. And this project is associated with the National Optical Astronomy Observatory, as well as NSF support and some others. Another great project, great folks. In fact, all of these projects, all citizen science projects, I've always had such, everybody's so great to work with, and they're so passionate about, their project and getting folks engaged. So it's just so great to see. With Globe at Night also, the data are used. So as you participate and share your location data, whatever you're seeing with your night sky, it's used to compare year-over-year trends. But one thing that's really cool is that it also can be used to compare, they also use it to compare with other data sets. So I did a high school project where they looked at like bat feeding behavior data. So bats, nocturnal critters feeding at night, looking at that with the same location available Globe at Night data. And wow, I mean, the kids got it. Like they saw connections between light pollution, ecosystem impact, and then it led to conversations about, light pollution's impact on organisms like us, humans, where exposure to excess light can impact our physiology. It can impact plant physiology. I know for humans, definitely impacts our circadian rhythms, our sleep-wake cycle, our melatonin levels. And wildlife are also impacted by this, our nocturnal wildlife. Whether it's, how they move about, their migration even, and even, predator-prey dynamics. One example that the kids of all ages have always liked, that I got to see up close and in person, and Caroline, you probably know, she's from Florida, but a project I worked on in college was with the Kemp's Ridley sea turtles, with the hatchlings. I mean, we worked with adults too, but one of the projects was about the little hatchlings, so the baby turtles. And so when they emerge from their little sandy nests, they're supposed to go towards the ocean or the Gulf. They're supposed to go towards the water. But when all of those beautiful resorts and beautiful beach homes have those lights on, sometimes the little sea turtles get confused and they think it's maybe the moon shining on the water, and they head inland. And then of course, survival, it's not good for them. So lots of good outreach with beachside communities, like turn your lights off during the summer when the sea turtle hatchlings are emerging. So with knowing about light pollution, but also the critters nearby, there can be some really good positive community projects and outreach to, to help combat some of the things that can happen when we have that light pollution. So this is just such a great project. When you implement it with learners, they may take it to places that you can't even foresee when you start it. I've seen them, tackle challenges in their area. It's a great connection to project-based learning extensions. The students may do, Globe at Night, love it, but then it could lead to, community, like local to global engagement with lots of different stuff. So just as a reminder, this project wants to raise global awareness about light pollution, and then our task as the citizen scientists, we're measuring and reporting the brightness of the night sky in our geographic location. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I love the Kemps. They're so cute. I know, I love them so much. That's awesome. So yeah, oh, next slide. Oh yeah, here it is. This is the Globe at Night education page on SciStarter.org education. The Globe at Night at a glance for educators. Great short engaging video, materials you need, resources, got the data sheet linked right there. It's fantastic. I also wanted to point out another resource, and it's on your Google Doc. So Globe at Night partnered with the amazing folks at Students Discover in North Carolina. They created, so the Students Discover project with scientists and educators working together. They created a middle school learning module called Starry Night, Engineering a Solution to Light Pollution. It's available for free online, and it's in your Google Doc. And you can adapt it. It says for middle school, which they wrote it for middle school, but it can be used at many different age grade bands, definitely. So it's for Globe at Night, but it's a lesson plan that takes it to look at engineering a solution to light pollution. Students will have the opportunity to immerse in that locally engaged, globally connected citizen science that's so awesome for Citizen Science Month, which is global. And with the project and the lesson plan, students are really invited to generate those innovative science and engineering solutions, in this case to address global light pollution challenges. So just lots of possibilities and connections. And as you guys dive in, let us know what you're doing. I love what people are so creative and innovative. And, as people try things out and what works for their students or what doesn't, they come up with so many neat things. In fact, one of our local North Texas educators, I think a couple of people know her very well. She did Citizen Science Fest. Educators could get involved all March and April, to have their learners engage in citizen science and share out some artifacts. It was really neat. And it's still on the SciStarter events page, Citizen Science Fest. So you may be getting ideas, for your environment, your learners, whether it's this spring or beyond. And feel free to share it with us. We would love to share it with everybody and get folks involved in collaborating with you. So next slide. So I thought I would just put up, and sorry, gosh, that's a lot of text. This is like this is what not to do in a PowerPoint slide. I apologize. So a lot of teachers will say, after the project, I do kind of want to assess my learners in some way. So I kind of just did a blitzkrieg of ideas. And of course, the first bullet point, especially in the time where we are right now it's just, there's so much going on. It's such a novel situation right now everywhere. So it's good, flexibility and choice kind of is the key with project choice, as well as like any final deliverable artifact, just to provide that equitable, just to make the experience equitable, because, some learners will have access to certain things, others don't. So I think flexibility and choice is so key right now, but I just kind of typed quickly. I didn't put a lot of deep thought into it, just some ideas of what you could do, but feel free in the chat pod if you've got this is definitely not an exhaustive list, but after students would engage in a real world citizen science project, if the educator is like, hey, I want to see something to evaluate this. For young learners, actually, I've even done it with pre-service teachers or in college, but the draw a scientist can be fun. Before you do real world science, tell them, close your eyes, imagine a scientist, draw a picture. So they draw that, whatever it looks like, no worries, all good. And then after they do science, and that they know that they are scientists and they did real world science, have them draw a scientist again. And some of my favorites are where, some of my pre-service teachers, they would do, the first one would be like Albert Einstein, like crazy gray hair, glasses, lab coat, things exploding in a lab, green liquid. And then afterwards, they're drawing a picture of them chasing a butterfly. So that could be an assessment. One thing I just popped in my mind that I didn't put on here, the Cornell lab actually has some surveys, like for interest in science, self-efficacy for learning and doing science. In fact, maybe I'll grab the link for that in a future webinar to share, because that can also be a pre and post informal assessment. And I've had some powerful results with different ages filling that out. One that I've seen a lot of educators do is, especially with NASA Go Clouds, and some students are just so talented, but they'll pull together their cloud images and make a movie. So that can be a great artifact. If you use a PowerPoint slide, I usually give my students a template just so they don't have to fight with fonts and sizes, but they can just create a one slide science quote unquote poster session or gallery walk where they're kind of putting their info on one slide, and it kind of simulates like a science poster session. So that could be an artifact, kind of sharing out what they found, what they observed, not as formal as like a science fair or anything. They can kind of, make it look what they want using a general template. Reflections are great. Holding a Skype virtual conference where the learners are presenting, that is fun. We had students in Canada, Mexico, and the US get on a Skype call, and they talked about the monarch migration, the habitat, and the projects that they were involved in. And I mean, I get chill bumps thinking about that still. It was really neat. They could write a blog, make a model. They could create their own audio artifact, like a podcast. With the abiotic resources, they could create a travel guide, like here's the average temperature, cloud cover, precipitation. So with some of the abiotic projects, they can create kind of what the weather and local the local climate is like. And then of course, one of the most powerful things I've seen are when students, like Girl Scouts did a bat project, and the next thing you knew, those little girls were marching into Washington lobbying on behalf of bat habitat. So take action. So the learners will really drive this ship. They can, after they're engaging in a project, it may really touch some of them, and they take it to that next level where they're taking community action or some kind of advocacy. So just lots of possibilities. Oh, Brenda, thank you. Oh yes, I love that. I used to think, now I think. See, that's brilliant. Exactly. I love that. That's a great tool to use for after you engage in one of the projects. Perfect. Next slide. Love that. Well, thank you guys. Yeah, we want to thank everybody, and come on back. We would love, you guys are our PLN. Come on back every Thursday night in the month of April. We will be here. We will be talking citizen science. And our promise to you is that we will never repeat a project in our webinars. We'll cover new ones every week. We've got our topics up here. Next week is Backyard BioBlitz. So next week, we will be prepping for City Nature Challenge, how to use iNaturalist as like in the Backyard BioBlitz. And then we'll celebrate some of our Earth and Arbor Day projects. And then the end of the month will be kind of a mixed bag, sourdough science and lots of others. I think do we have a hand raised?
We have a few in the Q&A. So someone asked, what time is Fungi Fridays? I think you answered. I can look that up if you want.
I know, and it's in the what's in your backyard homepage. It'll be on there. Yeah. Oh, thanks, you guys. Yeah. Any questions? Mark, did you have a question? I saw a hand raised.
Fungi Fridays are at noon Eastern.
Oh, thank you. Okay, perfect. Noon Eastern. Excellent.
And Maya asked, thank you for this resource. Will the webinar be recorded and available later? Well, this one's already on Facebook, so you can go and watch it there. And then we have another one from last week that we'll be posting in the near future.
Perfect. Oh, no worries, Mark. All good.
Ooh, Jill, we should do our poll.
Oh, yeah, Caroline has a poll. Yes.
Okay. So we're going to do our first poll just so we can learn a little bit more about you. So we're going to launch it. We want to know, what type of educator are you? So please vote. and then we'll share our results. Are y'all able to vote? Maybe it's not showing up. Let me end the
Don't
poll.
see it.
Launch it again. All right,
Oh,
can y'all
there
see
it
it?
is.
Yay!
And you can multiple too, because a lot of you guys are, you know, parents and teaching. Which I don't know how some folks are. I'm amazed. People are doing so great with all of this.
We got a lot of pre-K through 5 in the house.
Nice. And informal, you guys can check all of it.
All right, we'll end the poll here.
Let's see. Oh,
Share
nice.
results. Pre-K through 5 is the winner.
Awesome. You know what? And good job, guys, because you know, I remember years ago, some of the K-5, it was like, and maybe it's because of state test, it was really focused on math and you know, different. So that's great. Love that you guys are doing citizen science with those K-5s. Oh yeah, here's our next one.
Are you doing anything to celebrate Citizen Science Month? Well, for those of you who answered no, being in this webinar right now is technically celebrating Citizen Science Month.
That's right. I should invite you guys locally. We should go have s'mores and do globe at night. Oh no, we can't. That's right. We can't get together. Sorry. Gosh, Jill. We can do it from our own backyards.
Yes, we can all Zoom each other. We'll end the poll there. Share results. The vast majority say yes at 48%. 15% say no, and 37% say no, but I'm planning something.
Awesome.
And for those of you who are planning something, we have calls every Thursday before this one at 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. Eastern. We're happy to help you do tech support on the Zoom account. My boss, Darlene, she wrote the field guide to citizen science with her co-authors. She wants to do a big story time event, which would be perfect for educators especially. So email info@scistarter.org if you want any help hosting an event.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Caroline. That's fantastic.
My other poll didn't make it, I don't think. I think I made it too late, but that's okay. We just want to know if of the projects Jill spotlighted tonight, if there are any that you want to do that you haven't done before. So feel free to drop those in the chat. Like, did Globe at Night really pique your interest, or did the soil project, like, what really got you going?
Oh, thanks, Yvette. Soil.
We got some Globe at Nights.
Fantastic.
For our Globe at Night people, here, I'm going to drop this in the chat because you might be interested. If you go to SciStarter.org/astronomy mag, we did a webinar earlier today with the editor-in-chief of Astronomy Magazine. Yeah, it was with 3 project scientists too, and it was just such a blast. We had Zoom crash during it, but we made it through. And if you want to learn more about 3 really awesome projects, including Globe at Night, and you want to have that moderated by the editor-in-chief of Discover, go to that page and you can explore all of that there.
Great tip. I really wanted to go to that, but I had a meeting at that time. So good. That's great. Great. Awesome.
Jill, do you have any other closing thoughts for us?
Yeah, just hope everybody stays healthy and well. Let us know if we can help in any way, anytime. We love working with folks and learning from everybody. So feel free to reach out, and we can stay for questions. If anyone has questions or if anybody wants to share, feel free. We love that. Yeah, there's a good link. Caroline's got the main page with just, there's so much stuff there. It's so neat. I love some of the, well, all of them, but the images and graphics that you can use. It's great resources. Thanks, you guys. Thank you so much for coming. Stay safe. We're going to get through this together. And like Brenda said, even though, you know, the times, it's unprecedented times, but yeah, I mean, to have this time focusing on science from home and online, it's actually, there's such a silver lining and so many positive benefits as well. So thank you guys for coming. We so appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing you hopefully next week or the week after. Thank you guys for coming.
Thanks, Jill.
Thank you, and apologies for my loud zoo over here. They're very
I like it. I think it adds character. If you were on camera, we would want to see them. We love that.
yes. I know my bandwidth would crash, but yeah, they maybe that's why they're used to saying hi to people on webinars.
Aww.
That's probably what it was. I got an arthropod zoo and then a mammalian zoo over here.
I love it.
We're science people. We're animal and kid friendly.
That's so great. Jill, did you like science as a kid, or were you a late convert?
I think that's a good question. Like, I always loved nature, so I think
Yeah.
that was my portal into it all. But I mean, I've been definitely in classrooms where it wasn't taught well. But yeah, I definitely love it. How about you? Have you always loved it?
No, as a kid, I didn't like it. I was with Darlene on that. I know she was the same way growing up, but like I fell in love with it once I got into college and I went on the monarch butterfly migration trip. That was my turning point.
Oh my gosh. And University of Florida, that trip. Oh, and you got to go with Dr. Thomas, Dr. Oh, what?
Thomas Emmel, yeah.
That's it. He's so nice. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and like I took entomology classes after that, and like I majored in Chinese and history, but I took as many bug classes and science classes as I could.
That is awesome. I know that's why I love like having the citizen science in education. I feel like we can reach so many other learners and not turn as many people off to science. Like that sometimes happens when it's like quiz and worksheet and tests and yeah.
I was always just so afraid. I think that's I think I would have really enjoyed it if it hadn't felt so high stakes to me when I was a kid.
Oh, good point. Yep. That makes sense. Yeah.
Well, I'm grateful for citizen science because I learn things every day, like on these webinars. And I don't think we'll have any other questions. So, Jill, are you ready to call it a night until next week?
Okay, yes. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming, and great to spend time with you.
All right, bye, everybody.
Bye.